feel like
back
she's
to you.
getting pointier and pointier.
Well, she's got to come out this way because, crikey, there's not much left up here.
She's so cute.
Right, take a deep breath in. Where should she put her head? And breath out. Right out, right out, right out. Oh, the head's right in there.
I do feel it down.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome back,
Hello.
guys. Hello. Welcome back to our vlog. We are covering this week 31, 32, 33, 34, and 35. So the last 5 weeks, as we record this, I am almost 36 weeks, which is so exciting. Holy moly. She's definitely popped heaps more.
It's interesting because Melissa's put together this amazing mothers group and they're all very close together having babies. And then one of our good friends, Laura, had one the other day. So now it's like...
I'm next.
She walked out of the bedroom and went, oh my gosh, I'm next.
I'm next. This is so exciting. So there's 8 of us in this mothers group that I have created. It's a conscious mothers group of women who are birthing all within there was someone in February, there's 2 in March, 1 in April, 2 in May, and 1 in June. So we're all kind of around the same sort of time. And it's really beautiful. It's really beautiful. We meet once a month and just in a park, everyone brings a dish and it's just so supportive. And we've got a group chat where there's just constant love and support. It's just amazing.
Now, because it's been 5 weeks or so, you might notice that about 5 kilos has come off me since then.
And come on me.
It's true. It's transferred it.
It's transferred over.
So don't worry, it's all good. It's under control.
You'll do a vlog, do a podcast about it.
Yeah, I'm contemplating doing a whole solo cast on Melissa's show while she's away because I did a 30-day juice fast. I call it a juice feast because I was still getting truckloads of calories, like 2,500 calories a day. But it was one of the most challenging things I've done, especially towards the end.
It's a spiritual assignment.
Probably the first week and the last week was challenging. I thought I might go for 60, 90, or I didn't know how many days, but I got to 30 days and I was like, I feel pretty done right now. And I'd lost a lot of weight, even though I didn't, that was not my intention. Anyway, it's really interesting. Just wanted to flag it because that's probably why I look a bit thinner, but I feel amazing. I'm like, ding, so clear.
He's levitating.
Literally floating off the bed right now.
So over the past 5 weeks, I have continued with osteo, chiro, acupuncture. I've been working with Claire from the Bloom Experience, who's been giving me some knowledge and wisdom on birthing, which has been really beautiful. I've had sessions with her once a week. I've been doing my breath work with Nicola Lay every 2 weeks, and we're at the point where we're doing lots of different breath techniques, that I can use during labor, which is really great. So that has been really fun. We went to the physio together. There's a woman's physio up here who specializes in pregnancy and pelvic floor and everything like that, pre and post. And so I went in and had a session and she tested my pelvic floor, and then Nick came in the next time and she taught Nick how to do the correct perineal massage, which is amazing to have someone kind of overlooking your shoulder and showing him exactly what he needs to do. So we're going to start doing that as soon as we can. And she said, 2 or 3 times a week with some coconut oil.
5 minutes.
Yeah, 5 minutes. And so we're going to start doing that. She says it's really, really helpful.
And hats off to Melissa because, this is really important work because, you're going into this space of giving birth and there's going to be a new level of vulnerability that you've never had before. I think the more prepared you can be for that vulnerability of being naked, having your legs, your vulva exposed.
Very exposed.
Very exposed. So, so Melissa lying on a bed in the physio, legs spread, husband, fingers in.
The physio right in there. Everyone in there.
But I really, really encourage it's a totally personal thing, but I really do encourage you to explore it because it's great for your partner as well to also, I mean, you know, I think men often have a funny relationship with the vagina because, you know, I don't think we've really been taught how to treat it, what it is, what it does. So the more you can learn about it, because she was saying, okay, if you go in and you feel this such and such, that'll be the cervix. And I'm like, hold it. I know her cervix like the back of my hand. Because it's true, because, you know, we've done a lot of work together and getting to know each other physically. So I really encourage partners as well to get involved in this process. It's beautiful.
And it's really empowering for you to have a role and to feel more part of the whole process, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, leading into it, yeah. So that was really cool.
Some other things that I've been doing is getting a prenatal Abhyanga Ayurvedic massage with Carly from Wild Grace Healing, which has just been absolutely delicious. So prior to pregnancy, I used to love really deep tissue hardcore massages where they like get your elbows into you and like put their whole body weight on you. And now this is just really healing and nourishing, and I'm loving that. And as I get closer and closer, I'm doing every 2 weeks, and then every week she's going to be coming to my house a bit closer as well, which is just so beautiful to have. And she also does a lot of postnatal work as well, and she does the belly binding and the closing of the bones ceremony, which I'll talk about later once I've had that experience, and maybe even bring her on to have a chat about that. But that's been really beautiful. I've also, you know, I started working on my birth intentions ages ago. I've started to create a list of things for Nick to do, which I will share as well when I get when it's complete, which has been really fun to do, work on all of that stuff. And so he has a list of things that he could potentially do during the labor and the birth. And so
and say as well.
Yeah, like I've literally written down things for him to say to me.
It's like a language, because there's things like for the partner just not to ask questions, for example. Would you like this? How do you feel? Blah, blah, blah.
And the
no questions.
And the reason why you do not ask your partner questions is because it takes them out of, it brings them back into their their frontal lobe, and you don't want them there. You want the woman to just go so inward, and as soon as you ask her a question, you take her out of that. So instead of like, do you want a drink of water or do you want something, you just give it to her. So you just put it in front of her. So that, you know, there's things like that that are really important and make such a difference. We also had my beautiful breathwork teacher, Nicola, come to our house, which was awesome. And she walked around our house and showed us different areas we can use. So she was like, you could hang off the stairs here and do this, and you could put your leg up here and you could move like this. And it was just amazing, wasn't it? Because I hadn't thought of, you know, those sorts of things yet. So that was really great. And then we did an ice experiment, which was really cool, where she got us to hold ice in our hand for a whole song, and we chose a song that we love. And it was all about moving through that pain and that resistance and breathing through it. And it was really interesting because, you know, were your eyes closed when you were doing it?
No, I mean, it didn't really bother me at all, actually.
It didn't bother me at all too, but my eyes were closed and I was swaying and singing along to the song and smiling whilst I was doing it, clenching a whole fistful of ice, and you have to clench it. So I was like swaying and singing, and it was actually not that bad. And breathing, I was breathing as well.
I found that it was interesting. I found like I was having, like I've heard a lot about, obviously that we're not this body from a spiritual perspective, right? And I definitely had a really distinct experience, and it's something you can just try today. Grab some ice and sit for a whole song and meditate or whatever you want to do, but make sure you clench your fist too, because it's way harder than just having it sitting in there. But I felt really separate from the feeling, like a witness, observer sort of thing, which was interesting. I was like, well, that's not really me. You know, that's something that I'm experiencing, but it's not me. It was interesting.
And I was also using one of my favorite mantras, which is "This too shall pass." And Nicola was like, this is great, so, you know, because this kind of shows me that maybe during labor you might like to use that mantra, you might like to move around, and you might like to sing. And it kind of showed that that's how I react to a physical sensation in my body. So she was like, use those things, or at least try those things in labor, because that was your default. That's what you went to. So try those things. And I want to encourage everyone to try that ice experiment.
I think as well it's good because contractions or expansions, whatever you want to call them, what are we going to call them?
Expansions?
So when you get an expansion,
because the body is expanding.
Totally.
Not contracting.
Well, the cervix.
Yeah. Well, it is like doing
Waves.
this.
You can call them waves, expansions, whatever. Roller coaster.
We're calling them waves.
Waves. So when a wave comes, the good thing about waves is that waves come from the ocean, they hit you, but they're gone. And there's a break between waves. Then another comes and you brace yourself and it hits you and it's gone. Or you can duck under some of those waves too. So you can always use that as a bit of like I guess, almost like a visualization. And you know that every single wave is going to pass. Every single one. It's not forever. I think that's what the ice thing teaches.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the John Gray stuff?
Yeah, so there were some things in our relationship that we were both really keen to just sort of iron out before baby girl comes. And there was just behaviours in our relationship where there was things that we were doing that just weren't serving us, patterns that had been around for quite a long time, I'd say. Years, actually, probably. And I didn't really have the vocabulary or the tool set to kind of navigate it, but it was really clear there was something a bit just not right, but just something we wanted to tweak, especially before she arrives, so we can communicate better and meet each other's needs. And then I remember this podcast episode with John Gray, who wrote Men Are From Mars, Women From Venus, and a whole lot, a bunch of other massive books.
And he's been on my podcast, which we'll link below. It's such a good episode.
Well, I was thinking of your podcast episode. It took me back to, I was like, oh, I should actually read his original book. So I went and read Women Are From Mars, Men Are From Venus. And
Men Are From Mars.
Women Are From Venus. And
which is a book I think every single human being should read.
Like before you have a relationship, during relationships, there's actually a book he's written for dating as well.
Oh.
Yeah, which is really cool. And he's got ones for the bedroom, like sex ones. He's got parenting. He's got grief, recovering from a loss of a partner, like extraordinary stuff, right? And all of a sudden we were like, oh my gosh, we know what our needs are. We know how to meet each other's needs.
And we had the vocabulary to express it, which was really beautiful. And since then, our relationship has just gone like that, which has been really beautiful. So,
and we forget sometimes. We forgot yesterday, and
it's all good. But you get back up straight away.
We brought it back quickly, didn't we?
Which is so awesome when you have these tools in your toolkit. So I highly recommend everyone read this book. It's so good. Wherever you're at, whether you're with someone or not right now, read this book.
And if you are watching this series and you've watched a lot of our conception stuff, check out the one, about Men Are From Mars. No, Mars and Venus in the Bedroom, I think it's called. Because why not bring that into the conception process?
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So beautiful. So yeah, that was really big. And then another thing I wanted to mention was yesterday we had lunch with our besties who are also pregnant. And she's like 3 weeks behind me, which is just a dream to be pregnant with your best friend. It's so great. And we did a pregnancy photo shoot together last week, which was so beautiful. And I'll share some of those photos with you once I've got them back. But yesterday we went over for lunch and we were sitting out on the grass and we had some questions on how we want to parent and what are our parenting philosophies. And it was a really beautiful exercise to do together. So I would ask the question and we'd all go around and answer, what were some of the questions like?
What are some things you would like to get rid of? What are fears you would like to let go of
before baby
arrives? What are your family's values that you would like to instill in your child? What are some habits or patterns that you don't want to carry forward and essentially pass on? Really important.
The book is in there. Do you want to reach over and grab it? So we got this from a beautiful book called Ayurveda Mama, and I'll link to it below for you. This is the book, and it's on page, let me just check.
Gotta be out of focus.
Oh, did it get in focus?
Just keep it here, yeah.
Hang on one sec. Let me just find the page. It's page 58 in the book, where there's questions to explore as a couple. So this is exactly what we did with our friends, and it was a really, really beautiful thing to do. So I highly recommend doing that. Another really exciting thing that's happened over the past 5 weeks, and this was just last weekend, we had my mother's blessing and Nick's father's blessing. And it was so beautiful. I will link to the blog post below where I share all about how I created such a beautiful sacred ceremony and event. And oh gosh, the photos and the videos, you're going to love it. It was literally one of the best days of my life.
So tell us, what do you do at a mother's blessing then?
Oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. So we hired a house for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So we had 4 nights in this beautiful house in the country, rolling hills. It was absolutely amazing, as you can see from the photos. And on the Friday night, we stayed there with just our besties. And then on the Saturday, we had the mother's blessing. And it began with a beautiful sacred ceremony, a circle ceremony, where this was just like my best friends and my mum and my mother-in-law. And we did a beautiful blessing, and we went around and we did this crystal ceremony, this red rope ceremony, and there was lots of tears. This is my red rope that stays on here until I go into labor. And there was lots of tears, and it was so beautiful, just an outpouring of love and support for myself and baby girl, which was really beautiful. Everyone went around and they said how they met me, what they love most about me, and their wish for me and baby girl during birth. It was really beautiful. So we did that. That took a couple of hours, and then we had some beautiful grazing platters, all organic vegan grazing platters. It was just beautiful, and got lots of photos together, which is so nice to get professional photos with your friends. You don't often get professional photos with them, and it was just really lovely, and the lighting was amazing. And then more women came, and we did another sacred circle ceremony where my friend Nicole did singing and sound bowls, and we did a meditation, and then we did the weaving of the red rope around the whole circle. And that's again where everyone got to share their wish for me and baby girl during labor and birth. And then after that, we had a beautiful organic vegan feast together and got to connect. It was just such a beautiful day. And then my 6 best girlfriends slept over, and we just had such an amazing time. It was something that it will be a day I will never forget. It's just etched in my heart so deeply, and yeah, it was beautiful. And then on the Sunday, us girls left, and all the boys arrived at the house. So I had about 29 women. There was
8 of us.
8 of you guys, which is really beautiful and intimate. And do you want to share about the Father's blessing? And the reason why we decided to do this was because, you know, I'm organizing this Mother's blessing, and we're thinking like, why aren't we doing something for you? Like, this is a big part. Your life is about to shift as well. So it was really beautiful that you got to do it. So tell everyone what you did. And
yeah, it's interesting. I was just picturing, I got really emotional.
Aww.
I was just picturing us cutting your red rope. I got really emotional thinking about it. Far out. So lost my train of thought. What are we talking about? Father's blessing.
Father's blessing.
So yeah, I just had a group of really beautiful friends around, and I'm just so blessed to have amazing male friends who are really open and loving and okay being vulnerable with each other. And I had a friend fly up from Melbourne.
You're like brothers.
Yeah, I've got a lot of really special men in my life, and my bestie James Colhoun, who lives in Vanuatu, couldn't make it because of COVID. which is a shame, but he actually did a blessing at the same time in Vanuatu. He sat in ceremony by himself and yeah, just did his own blessing, which was beautiful. And it's amazing to have that sort of support. But we started by just hanging out. We're just by the pool and just chatting and, you know, just blokey stuff, drinking beers.
Yeah, right. None of you drink.
We were drinking like rose water, rose crystal water, lavender crystal water.
It was the brand Oh Sun Sparkling, and it's so beautiful. They have jasmine, lavender, and rose infused sparkling water. It's amazing. It's so beautiful, and like
Link below.
Done under the full moon, and it's just amazing.
So we were just drinking those by the pool, as you do. And I was actually day 26 of my juice feast, and Melissa had organised the catering. Again, same caterer. It's beautiful food.
But you hadn't had any food yet when they arrived.
No, we had that for dinner. So we sat around and then we went into a circle, just like the girls. And I put out like a doTERRA essential oil each that they could take home. That they could choose, at a singing bowl. And we started with me actually just going around and telling them why I love them so much, which was a really beautiful exercise to do. And it was just nice to give to them in that way. And then they went around and shared the same thing about me, which was beautiful, and there were tears and lots of love, and it was extraordinary, really extraordinary, you know. And I think a couple of the men hadn't been in that sort of environment, a bit, but not to that extent before. I think it was new for all of us actually, to that extent, just how open it was. And you know, we had a lot of music, and then we had a beautiful meal, and I didn't eat. And one of the nights I made a vegan lasagna for
the Friday night
for Melissa, Terence, and Natalie, and
it was so good.
I was drinking grape juice, and I ended up in fetal position, in tears.
We've got a link to the vegan lasagna.
We do.
Do we?
Yes, cheesy V. Yes, I've got it.
Oh my gosh, we have to share. This is like,
it's a private video, I'll unlock it.
He said to me, I want to make you your favorite dish on Friday night. Would you like the vegan lasagna? And I was like, yes! And then our two besties were like, this is amazing. So he sat there while us three devoured this delicious vegan lasagna made with so much love. It was just unbelievable. And yes, sorry, getting back to their father's blessing, they then, after their sacred ceremony, they had a cacao ceremony, and after that we had beautiful organic vegan catering done for all the boys, which was just so beautiful.
It's interesting because
delicious.
That night with the vegan lasagna, then the boys' blessing when I was around food like that, both times I ended up in my bed, in fetal position, in tears.
Oh wow.
Yep. And it was a huge exercise for me spiritually because of this attachment that we have to food, right? Like living to eat instead of eating to live. Like there's a big distinction there. And so I realized that we really, really need to get to this eat to live phase of our life. And it's really hard to let go. So that was a really interesting thing. Both nights I was in fetal position and quite emotional, as I am now. Anyway, it softened me, I think, this whole experience.
Yeah.
So that was beautiful.
Yeah, and then all the boys stayed over at the house and then left, you know, that Monday morning, and it was just such a beautiful experience. And then my bestie and I came back, and the four of us stayed there again on the Monday night, and we had a pregnancy photo shoot on the property, which was just so beautiful. And
Simon Hill came over. If you know Simon Hill from Plant Proof, he come and stayed the night, and they interviewed each other. So they'll both be on each other's shows in May. Is that right? April, May?
Yeah.
Yep. So definitely check out those episodes, April, May. Really, really cool. I was listening to them and they were just fantastic episodes.
Yeah, and I really, really want to encourage you to do a blessing way, do a mother's blessing, do a father's blessing. It is such a special way of honoring this rite of passage from maiden to mother. It's not something that should just be skipped over really quickly. It is such a huge thing. And to know, like for me, that I have so much love. I mean, I already knew this, to add that I have so much love and support around me, but to like actually tangibly feel it you know, and have a visceral experience with it. And every time I look down at this red rope, I am instantly transported back to that day. And that is something that I'll carry with me, like right until birth. And then what happens is, and you can research this yourself, like look up the red rope ritual. You can do all the research. Yeah. And the red rope symbolizes...
Kabbalah, right? Is it Kabbalah?
Yeah, it symbolizes the feminine line in your family and things like that. So research it and look it up. But what happens is, so when I go into labor, Nick or whoever's in the space will do it, send a group text, or you might send a text to one of our besties and say she's gone into labor, and then our bestie can jump into the group text and say, Melissa's gone into labor. Can everyone please reshare their intention for Melissa and the baby? So like literally close your eyes and meditate on it. You can even do a meditation. You can light a candle and just reaffirm those intentions that you had for me and baby. And then you cut the red rope. And what my girlfriends and I do is we cut it and we put it in like a love heart, and we take a photo of it, and then we send it in the group text. So you've got all of these beautiful images of everyone sharing their red rope, and you just feel so much love and support. So that's what you do. And one of my girlfriends, what she did was she then framed all of those images, and she made a big collage of all the love heart red ropes from all of her girlfriends, which is just such a beautiful idea. And you literally feel all that love and support just like wash over you when you go into labor and when you really need it. So I highly recommend taking that time to honor this incredible rite of passage for you and your beloved, and soak up all the love. I know a lot of women have a big issue with receiving. They really struggle with receiving, but at the end of the day, it's not about you. Like, this is about, you know, it is about you, but it's also about this being, this light being. And it's so important that she or he feels that love and support. So put your ego aside. Oh, I can't receive. Oh, no, like awkward. Just put all of that aside and remember, like, don't you want your baby to feel all that love and support? Yes, you do.
Graciously accept. Graciously
accept all the love and all the support that comes washing toward you during those beautiful ceremonies. It's just divine, and it was one of the best days of my life, something I'll never forget, and I can't wait to show her all the photos and images, photos and video footage one day. So that is the beautiful blessings that we had and what we've been up to the last 5 weeks, which is so exciting. And we absolutely love hearing that you guys love this vlog. You know, we originally just started it because we wanted to document this for her and document our journey. So I'm so glad you're loving it. Please comment below. Please share it with anyone that you think would benefit from it. And yeah, we're just so grateful that you're here and we get to share this journey with you. Anything you want to... That's it.
I feel complete. I've cried. You know.
It's all good.
I'm all good. I'm a sensitive little soul.
Oh, I've cried a lot lately, haven't I?
A bit more little than usual, but I'm sensitive.
We love you guys. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.